Hey everybody, how's it going? How are things going? All right, let's see here. Who do we have? You guys hear and see me okay? Just let me know if you can hear and see me okay. Can somebody give me a thumbs up? Let me know that you can hear and see me. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right, let's see here. I don't know. For some reason, it sounded kind of weird. Hey Gwen, broke cowgirl, made it before it started. Evening chores, and it's almost dark. Got them done. Picked my first 4 strawberries. Very exciting. Hello, Leanne, Mennonite Farmhouse. Hello, Kettle Kitchen. Hello, Rich Old Swedes Farm. Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa. Hello, Stringfield Ridge Farm. How are you? Welcome in, everybody. Come on in. Lisa Colovi was just texting me. She will be here shortly. I just wanted to double check what she was saying. How's everybody doing tonight? What's everybody up to today? I saw, Leanne, I saw your message. No worries at all. Just relax, take your time. Hey there, my Raindrop Life, Michelle. Hello, Jerry Carpenter, Self-Reliance. Welcome in. Welcome in. You're planting the garden, Michelle. That's awesome. Yeah, we actually got our plants in the greenhouse, which is really exciting because we don't usually have plants in the ground or anywhere outside at this point. So we're pretty excited. Rich mowed the lawn 3 hours on beat. Oh, no kidding. No kidding. Thanks, Tony. You like Ryan's Bale video? Yeah. Yeah, let me tell you. Usually what we do is he has it on the back of the Dodge, and then we pull it with the side-by-side winch and then pull it as far off as we can. And then he pushes it and flips it because it's a pretty big, heavy bale. Gwen loves mowing. Hi, No Parts Garage. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thanks, Jesse, for posting links. I appreciate you. Now I know why it sounds weird. It's because we don't have the pellet stove running. Usually there's a lot of noise from that. There's nothing running. So what else is everybody up to this weekend? I already have a guest back there. Jerry said, help Daddy get 30 cattle panels for his deer-proof fence today. $987, $500 last year. Oh, it's insane. It's insane. The bale of hay that we get is 900 pounds, and it used to cost us $140. Now it's $160. We picked that up tonight. Lasts us about 2 months right now, so it's not too bad. Hey, Slava, Kitchen Garden Therapy, welcome in. But yeah, prices are just, crazy. Yeah, Leanne, the peeps are making some noise. We got 12 more days for more peeps. The other peeps are all out in the garage now. Gwen likes to ride the tractor or zero turn all day as long as she has iced tea. That makes sense. Hey, Gail Southern Living. You guys safe over there? I saw your short on the hail. That was crazy. Is my special guest back there ready? I got a thumbs up. So let's see who joins us tonight. So tonight we've got Kitchen. Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Doing good. Doing good.
I'm trying to switch this and I won't switch it to the way I want it to go. But so what's happening with you?
Nothing. My big news is I got the collaboration video out. So I've been working on that and checking up and seeing if anybody needs any help with anything or whatever it may be. So that's been my busy day.
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, I
Yep.
want to dive into the collab. Let me just see who is in the chat here first. Hey, Vineyard Chicks. Hope you're doing well. Welcome in, my friends. Leanne said you better not eat all the green M&Ms in the waiting room.
Already did.
I figured that. Yeah, Texas just got its butt kicked with golf ball sized hail.
Oh.
I hope everything is all right and nothing got damaged by you, Gail. So talk about your collab. Tell everybody what the collab's going to be about.
So what we're doing is in the month of June, every day in the month of June, we're going to do a collaboration, which is called Jammin' Up June. And it's primarily when we started, it was going to be jam jelly preserves, which it still is. That hasn't changed. But through conversations and as the time had progressed, a couple people made me aware. I was thinking of canning jams and jellies. I wasn't thinking about steam canning. I wasn't thinking about refrigerator or freezer canning or freezer jams. So those have been incorporated in it as well. And we've got 31 channels that are doing each day, except for the first day, me and another channel, which is the Flavorful Home. She's going to go ahead and do hers the same day. That'll go every day in the month of June. On June 30th, we're going to have a live chat where we will be doing giveaways. I don't know how much information you want me to give out right now or not, but that's where it is.
I think that's really cool. I'm just going to go to the chat and then we'll come back. Hey,
Okay.
Joe Serrano, welcome in. Welcome in. The roof chicken coop, my plants in both vehicles are damaged. Oh, Gail, I'm so sorry.
It's too bad.
I do understand because we deal with it. I'm so sorry. Oh,
That's
where I
too
picked
bad.
up hay today, they were talking about how, they have the hay stack, the 900-pound bales are all stacked, and millet is some of the hay that they get. And the last time we had that hail on my live, it ruined their hay bales because apparently the millet, it goes right through and then, it melts in there. So
is millet a different type of grass, like Timothy hay is Timothy grass?
I don't know a lot about it. I just know
Okay.
that it is a different type of grass and it has more protein than alfalfa is my understanding.
Okay.
It's sometimes alfalfa is hard to get here and millet is easier to get. So I was looking into it because of our pigs. We have to have hay for them.
Right.
And one of the questions was would they eat it? Because alfalfa is pretty good.
Right. They like that.
But so I didn't want to buy a 900-pound bale and then have them not eat it. So the lady was just really kind to give me a huge bag of it to see if they would like it. But yeah, it does make a head like sorghum or high gear. She was telling me all about it. Is a grain and you can spread it. She was showing me today how she reseeds stuff using it. So it's pretty cool. Hey, Paul.
Well, it's pretty awesome that you got somebody that's willing to give you a sample so that you could check and make sure that the animals would eat it or not.
Absolutely. I mean, and she gave me a huge amount for a sample.
That's
it wasn't
cool.
like she gave me a few strands and said, see how the pigs like this.
Yeah. Good luck with this.
Yeah. Yeah. And she was telling me, Slava, that you can grind it and make, I guess, like flour or something with it. It was pretty cool. Hello, the Stock Explorer. Yeah, it was cool. She had a bunch of ewes and lambs and goats and kids, and it was just fun to go check everything out. She's got llamas and alpacas and all that stuff. Leanne would like to know where your intro dance is. Hi, Nancy, our treasure.
I gave as much as I'm going to dance. I don't want to turn it into a yoga class, so.
Hey, Garden to Table with Heather Lynn. Hey, Lori's World. Yeah, Vineyard Chicks prices are going up on everything, I tell you. But we buy the larger bale because it just makes our lives easier because we buy one, we've got it. It lasts us about 2 months, give or take. With them, when they have more grass, it's less. It'll take, I mean, longer time before we go to get another bale. So
Do you guys, because I've seen your videos in your area, it seems uneven. You've said that before. Do you guys have a lot of grass pasture for them to eat on?
we have 2 acres in the back part of the property. We made 3 pasture sections, so to speak.
Okay.
And we made those sections. Now they're in the 2 all winter. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to use the electric net fencing
Hmm.
and put that up and move them around and let them graze on all the
Okay.
grass that we have. Because the third pasture that the girls were in the one pasture in the back, but then we move them up closer for winter. Hey, Willow Way
Hmm.
Ranch. And when we move them up, that pasture is nice as green as can be.
Right.
So we have to do more tree cutting. It stinks, but we have to open up so we can get more sun. And no,
By the
Leanne, the
time they
deer are
get up
not.
there,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and
I was
no,
just gonna
Leanne.
say by the time they get up there, sorry, by the time they get up there, they're gonna think it's caviar up in that third field.
They are. And I was gonna say, Leanne, they have not touched that bale of hay since I made that rack and covered it with a tarp and put the pallets on either side. They only eat the scraps that I drop around the edge, which is fine, but they can't even get their faces in it anymore because I put the chicken wire on the side.
Right.
Let's see here. I just want to go real quick, see if I missed anybody. Hey, Gardening with Goody. Thanks for dropping in to say hello. We appreciate you.
I just want to let everybody know I'm not trying to ignore the chat. My internet really stinks, so I'm doing it off my phone. Excuse me. And the image I have is very tiny, and the chat's squished up next to it, so I don't get to read it. So I apologize for that.
Makes sense. Makes sense. If anybody says anything to you, I will make sure that I read it to you
Okay. Thank you.
and everything. So talk more about your collab. Like, what exciting things do you want
Okay,
to tell
so the
people?
good thing, the main thing I want to put out there is that I'm excited and elated that 31 channels joined. I mean, that's wonderful, and it happened in a quick amount of time. You being one of them, Leanne's another one. I don't know who else is in here. I think I seen Jesse and Lisa in here. Lisa's going to do it as well. But it took no time to get everybody in here, and then it went stagnant. Everybody wanted information, and then getting back and forth, and it's a game you play. I get it. But today I got 4 requests to be in it. So, I mean, that's the trouble of it when you go through and set it up. And sometimes you can struggle to get those people in there. And then it's like when it's cutoff time, now everybody wants to reply, everybody wants to get in it. So that's a challenging issue. And next time, maybe we can do 2 a day. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But
Yep.
for this one, we've been very lucky. We got McSunley, which is a kitchenware product company. They're the ones that are going to donate the 21.5 quart stainless steel water bath canner. 4 Jars Lids is going to donate over $400 worth of product and gift cards. Yeah, and that's a lot. That's huge.
Wow.
And then the way that we've made it work, there's going to be weekly giveaways. And in the giveaways, there's going to be one winner that'll get a book, and it's either a National Center for Home Food Preservation book or it's a bulb book, that type. And then one winner will get a set of canning lids, 50 canning lids. Different weeks it'll be wide mouth or regular mouth, it just depends. And then
Wow.
I'm also throwing in 2 stock pots, an 8 quart stock pot and a 12 quart stock pot. Now those aren't being
Whoa.
donated, but neither here or there. It isn't the point. That's where we're at, and it's just wonderful that those 2 companies were willing to jump in. The only stipulation with the McSunley product donated, because it's coming from them, they only deliver to the lower 48 states. So Alaska, Hawaii is not eligible territories or anything like that. They won't
Right.
ship it over to UK or Australia. It's the only one. 4 Jar Lids is graciously said we'll send it anywhere. So that's wonderful. And then the books I'm getting off Amazon, so those will be shipped directly to the winners as well. So, and
Awesome.
then the other thing I want to throw in there, which a lot of people don't know, and I didn't advertise in the collaboration announcement, each of the collaborators will be in a drawing as well for a steam bath canner as well, separate from the other prizes.
Wow.
So
That's incredible.
I tried to make it big. I tried to make it, as many channels. And my thing I was after was really, I wanted to have small, medium, and large channels. I didn't want it to be all the big guns out there per se. I didn't want it to be all the small guns because there's no reason the little ones can't. There is a wide mix of big, medium, and small in this, and I loved that it worked out the way it did. So
that sounds like a really great challenge. I know the Vineyard Chicks were saying that it sounds like a great lineup as well.
Yep, it is.
I'm going to go to the chat real quick because Barb's Country Home is here. Welcome in, Barb. Hey, Troy. Bar Run Forge. Lisa Colovi is here. She is such a trooper. Hey, Ariella Viking Venture and Victuals. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. But yeah, we're excited for this. This is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to
and I hope it goes really. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say I'm going to have to buy new bushes and hopefully they'll fruit by the time my turn comes. If not, I'm going to have to buy them. Hey, Ricky Ventures.
Yeah. And there's something else I'd like to throw in too, real quick. Not if anybody knows. I know, and I'm not sure if anybody else, meaning like you or maybe possibly another person. There is going to be a new way of making jam introduced on the collaboration that I don't think many people realize you can do. And that's all I'm going to say.
Zip it.
Yep.
Zip it.
Yep.
Stay tuned. I won't tell you what day that I'm going either.
But that's part of it. You need to watch it. You need to follow the videos if you want to get that information. And the only way you're going to be eligible for the the giveaways at the end of the month is comment on every video. That's going to give you the best chances possible.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a lot.
It is. It is.
Hey, Nancy, our treasured home. I thought I said hello to you earlier, but I wanted to make sure I did. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Leanne said, geez, Tony, don't give away my secrets.
I didn't say it was Leanne, did I? Thank you. Who's got my back? I know now.
Leanne's all tuckered out.
She is. She's had a long week. So
she has. Hey, Hike with Mike. And good, Nancy. I'm glad I did. I just wanted to make sure. Hey, Living a Rogue Life. Evening.
Another thing cool. I'd like to throw out there too, if you want to see another angle of this, the Organized Pineapple, she's in the collab. She put out a video today introducing the collaboration for her channel as well. So if you think you might have missed something or you want to see it a little different, little 1 minute blip, but it's a blip out there. So
so we could put out our own little blips.
Yes, I fully said in the email, you are free to do with whatever I give you. So
I'm retired now. I don't have to read emails in their entirety.
Then call me and I can tell you what you need to worry about.
Hey there, Rebecca Davis, Touched by Yarn. Oh, somebody said congrats at Ricky Ventures. What happened? I missed something.
I haven't heard anything.
I know. Oh,
I think the other thing. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
He's at 3,969 watch hours. He should break 4,000 this weekend. Yep. Awesome. Where are you at for friends of your channel? So we can get that out there. Leanne's going promote.
Good.
No, I think she's talking to you.
Something. Oh. Here, I'll do a little dance in the middle of it and get some blood flow going.
There you go.
So the other thing too, and I really want to throw this out there. When I started this number one, this wasn't the collab I was originally going to do. I have another one that's coming out in November, and I'll talk about that later on down the road. But as this progressed and it went on, there's just so many people that wanted to do it. So I just put it together, slammed it together. Point being, there's a lot of work, behind the scenes work, that goes into a collaboration. One of those is the logo we used was created by Lisa over at Sutton's Days. She graciously stepped up and created that for us. So I want to shout out her. And then as well, when we're doing our live show on the 30th, I have 3 moderators that have already agreed to do it for us. So it's going to be Jesse from Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa, Stephen from Mr. Boots and Bounty, and Brenda from Red Bird Farm is also going to be there. So we'll have it moderated, and people will be able to, the only thing I'm not going to be able to do, and I'm really regretting it in all honesty, is with as many contributors that want to come on for the live and put their little, spiel in, they want to get their shows or channels out there, which I want them to do that. I don't think we're going to take questions from the live chat. I think that's going to make it too hard and too confusing, and as much as we're trying to do in a short amount of time. So, it's a downfall to it, but I think to get it to flow and try to cram as much as we can in roughly an hour and a half, I have to do that. So
yeah, just make it known.
Yeah,
like we have to do that with the hay bale. I just want to say hello to Ava Potterfield and friends, and Ricky Ventures is in the upper 600s, I think 685 he said, so make sure that we go check him out. And Heatherlyn is up to 140. So just check them out. Hello, Matthews Patch. Welcome in. But yeah, and we do that with Round the Hay Bell when we were doing the live. Okay. We had moderators in there to handle questions because we said that we could, because we were recording and also going live, we could not respond to all the questions. And I'm working on something behind the scenes now where I'm trying to figure out how I can record it. Then put it up as a premiere, because I want it to be an educational thing. I'll leave it at that. I want it to be an educational thing amongst channels, but I want the opportunity for people to watch it. And then when we have the premiere, have questions. So hoping to do that. I'm trying to work out the kinks. Yeah. I was going to do it as a live initially.
And I like what you said there, because actually that ties into the premiere I did for the collaboration announcement yesterday. And it was after I'd already set it up and everything was ready to go. Me and Leanne actually were having a conversation. And I was worried. Where I got to was that it's only a 3-minute video. I didn't want it to be boom, here it is, bye, see you later. Unfortunately, with the restrictions, the way premieres go, I couldn't carry it over with a live chat without announcing a separate segment to it. And so, as much as YouTube does have tools we can use and other programs are out there we can use, you are kind of limited to some of the things you can and you can't do. So what you were talking about, having it recorded and then being able to provide it as a live chat later, that's one of the challenges we deal with as content creators. So
you're saying you couldn't make it premiere and then have the live chat available later?
What I could have done, I guess, and Leanne even said that, I could have set it up so my premiere came out when it did, and then just told everybody afterwards, meet me over on my next live chat in 2 minutes or whatever, and then I could have carried on a conversation. But by the time I realized it and we had that conversation, I only had 3 or 4 hours. I didn't feel like it was going to get enough recognition to promote it, that way. So I just left it the way it was because of that. But in the future, I mean, it goes along with what you're saying. I mean, we can do what we want to do, but we're also limited to what we can do. And I'm a smaller channel. I'm not as big as a lot of other channels are. So I don't have a community tab. I don't have this. I don't, there are some things I'm limited just because of size. So.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I remember those days. It's hard. Hey, Brian, the beer snob, how are you? And I've got another guest back there. Is he ready? All right. I'm going to bring somebody up. Hey, Uncle Al, Die Bullfrog 79. It's like playing lotto. I wish I could like hit a spinner and have the person show up. Oh, we've got more people. All right, let me bring one up first.
Excuse me.
Hello.
Uh-oh. There's trouble.
How's it going?
It's going good.
There we go.
Do I sound okay? Am I echoing? I get everything set right?
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
I got one more person I'm going to bring up. Are you ready, my dear?
Uh-oh. Is it Leanne?
Okay.
I got to
Now
get
we're
my
in
flashcards
trouble.
ready. Oh,
Better have your
Slava.
Oh.
Hello. Hello.
The lady whose garden's going bananas.
And look at her. Is she a trooper? She's got her shirt on.
That.
Yep.
I love that pink on you.
I don't think her volume's up.
I can't
mic-
hear you.
Your mic's not working.
No.
I can sign for her.
I know she'll figure it out because she had it working the other day. Is your plug all the way in your computer? Bye, Leanne. Have a
That's
good night.
usually my problem.
Or you're on mic mute when you switch over to this. Sometimes there's a mute button on this software.
Yes. I have it on my mic, and that's what I use. Hey, Susan's Ramblings. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Candid Explorer. And when we record for the podcast, they're always like, "Can't hear you."
Yeah.
Get that microphone right next to you.
I know it. I'm gonna let Slava do what she's doing. Oh, I think it. Talk now, Slava.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
Is your volume too low? Now you're muted on the screen.
No. Darn it.
I know. That's all right. She'll figure it out. We'll just let it.
Yeah.
Slava, do you want me to put you down while you figure it out, or do you want to stay there? I'm okay either way. Okay.
Keep hitting buttons and keep talking.
Yep.
Yeah, and Slava, just like type something in the chat when you're ready, and I'm happy to bring you up here. And I just didn't want you to be embarrassed, but sitting there with the heat on you trying to figure it out. But so what's going on with you, Rich?
Well, I'm realizing I went out and mowed, and folks, sunscreen's always a good thing when you're outside. I'm feeling that crispy mode right now. So been working, do the day gig, then get out and do the other stuff, and somewhere in between there. And me and Holly got in a little date night tonight. Went out for dinner and grabbed some stuff for a barbecue tomorrow. So
Good.
Nice.
had some fun. And I don't want to say we got another one, but we had one of our gals came to us in bad condition and didn't look like it was going to make it. So we traded in a chicken today. So Holly went and got a golden comet. So another breed for us, something new.
I like them. When I got them, they were really, really sweet. And then it's funny because they were so sweet. What a great breed and everything. And then when we got a whole bunch of other chickens and we added the 14 to the initial, then we laughed because they went up in the pecking order.
That's for me, that's Rhode Island Reds. Oh my, they've got attitude. I don't know if I'll ever get them again. They're picking on others. They're nasty at times. I don't like them. Great producers, really good foragers. But sometimes they will not good.
That's crazy.
I have a lady that's next to us that she has, I want to say it's 6 or 7 of them, but they're fighting that battle where they're picking at each other or whatever. So she told me today, she said, I'm getting rid of them. I can't do it no more. So.
Yeah. And we've got a bunch of other docile breeds, especially the ones, the Calico Princess we got. Oh, Slava, can we hear you now?
No.
Darn.
Do you need to restart it?
Is there on the microphone's usually right on your thing? Is there a button you push on it that mutes it? Can anybody join the guests as a IT specialist right now? Can we?
Hey, doing better with Mariah. Oh, we lost her. She'll be back.
Oh no.
It's funny. I have Rhode Island Reds. I don't have an issue with them. And even the comments, I mean, the stuff they're doing is just normal pecking order stuff. They're not being mean, but it's just funny. She'll even go up to the rooster and.
And I don't have a rooster, so I've got one of the Reds. Now they're the original batch from 2 years ago. There's only 5 of them out of, I've got 60 some or 50 some, but they can be nasty. There's one that has taken on the rooster role. So every now and then she will put the others in their place. She will mount them. She will.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I'm like, get out of there. Come on. That's where I've got to become all right, drum roll.
Trial number 3.
Yay.
Great job. Great job.
Finally.
You made it.
Guys. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening.
Don't apologize at all.
I'm not good with computers.
You did just fine.
Neither
and don't apologize. We're happy to have you here. I was just looking. Hey, yeah, no worries, Bland's Promised Land Ranch. You got it. They said hi to Rich, Tony, and Slava.
Yeah. Sorry about not making it last night to the Bland's family. We had the winds were incredible. And I got everybody tucked in, tried to get everybody tucked in quick. And I mean, the winds had to have been 50, 60 miles an hour for a bit. Then the power went out and I realized, how good's my generator? Well, my generator leaks gas. It was a cluster last night. So I got glow sticks out and put them around the little girls' coop so they could see each other. And the day-old chicks actually huddled in with all the 2-week-old chicks. They all just got mixed in with wings and stuff, and everybody stayed warm, and it all worked out. It was nuts. Big tree limbs coming down, and I had the camera out ready for the tornado video.
I bet you did.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I was saying I didn't know what the temp was by you, but I know that's my backup is, we have a generator, but if I have small chicks or anything, it's put them in the car and turn the heat on.
Oh, that's what you mentioned, the car. I was like, okay, how do I get power from my car to the heat? I misread.
No, I knew you had chicks, and all I could think of was they're new chicks and you don't have a heat lamp. And so my first thought is turn the car heat on and it'll get warm in there and they'll be fine. Hey, Grace and Fire.
I just closed up the pole barn. It had been 88 yesterday. It was hotter than heck, and the pole barn was quite warm. So I just shut the door, got all the girls in there, and then never opened the door again because after the front came through, it went to 64. So in about a half an hour.
Ooh.
So it cooled down quick, but they were fine. Everybody survived.
Chicks are hardier than people think.
They are. And it's funny, these day-old chicks, they are running with the 2-week-olds. I'm like, you're going to get trampled. Nope. They're in with the bigs. It is so funny to watch. I'm just going to put the camera on and just let people see them running around. It's nuts.
It is funny. Our pheasants are a week old and they're still smaller than the size of chicks when you bring them home.
Oh, wow.
And they're getting these long wings on them. And it's like they're going through the awkward stage because, they got one long wing. And it's funny. They run like crazy back and forth. And I have to be careful when I take the net off the top of the brooder. Hey, Old Ways Gardening and Prepping.
I want some videos, Lisa. I want to see those pheasants. So
I will. There's not much change in a week. So we just, tonight we changed the blanket that was on top of the pine because they said to leave it there for 1 to 3 weeks because apparently they'll eat them and die because then they won't eat their food.
Well,
dumb birds.
Yeah. My plants have been battered enough. So that's where I've been watching Slava's videos to see how beautiful her plants are because mine have been all beat up outside. So
mine are getting a little bit beat up too now because it got so hot this week. It's crazy. We had like 95, 97 all week.
Wow.
From like 40s to 90s straight.
I went straight from winter to summer here. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm not even done planting all of my summer crops. And I'm afraid planting them all because, I could lose them. So Next week, we're supposed to get a little bit cooler temperatures. It's supposed to be 70s. So I think I'll spend the next week in the garden.
Yeah, I thought of you yesterday, Slava, because when I put everything in the greenhouse, it wasn't way hot here at all yesterday. It wasn't the 70s that I had the other day. We had one day of that. But, I hardened off my seedlings and I brought them out to the greenhouse and I said, all right, we're going to get these in the greenhouse. It's going to be 43 tonight. They'll be fine. It went down to 37 and I'm like, they're newly transplanted. So that's worse. So I did go out and I did cover them up.
That's good.
Even though, I don't think they'll get frosted. It's going to be the same temp as outside in that greenhouse at night.
Yep.
So I covered them. They seem fine. I'll probably do the same thing and get through and everything. I just want to go to the chat real quick. Hey, Pathways Homestead. Hope you guys are doing well. It went from winter to summer by Grace and Fire also. Crazy. And I think it was Jerry said he liked North Dakota wild pheasants. Yeah, the pheasants are the state bird of South Dakota. And if you go over on the eastern side of the state, they are running around like squirrels.
Yep.
Over
Everybody
here,
from Minnesota goes over to eastern South Dakota to go pheasant hunting.
Yep. And over here, we don't see them as much, but we have ringneck pheasants from Hoover's Hatchery, and I can't wait to see them. Hey, Simply Jan.
I've got a male out in my woods, my little 1.5 acre woods, and he's out there calling. Last night during the storm, he's calling, and I'm like, where are you? There's got to be a female around with a nest somewhere. So,
wow. Maybe he's a female out there sitting on eggs for all you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. A couple of years ago, we saw, the missus running around with like 16 little bodies behind her, and she'd duck in and out of the corn. It was pretty cute. So, yeah.
Oh, cute.
You rarely see them. And then we had turkeys in our yard. We had about 20 turkeys, I don't know, a month ago. And I'm like, oh shoot, this is, bird flu time. And they wanted to go check out my chickens and they were looking at them. I'm like, okay, go girls, go. I don't want you hanging with the turkeys. So
tell me about it. We've got, we have a pond behind us and on one of the neighbors and a pond on one of the other neighbors. So it's like, we know what that attracts, Canadian geese.
Yep. And they're one of the main carriers.
Yeah. And I'm not happy because they're up on the rocks. Thankfully, the flight path does not seem to be over the coops. But I'm keeping an eye on it because I'm not too pleased about having them anywhere near my property because in addition to the avian flu, they're always known carriers of bacteria.
That's for sure. Yeah. With the avian flu, who knows? I saw a bunch of sparrows that were in my pole barn today, and 2 of them looped down and drank out of the same water that the chickens are in. It's like, you know what? There's no way I can contain anything. So if we're going to get it, we're going to get it. And I'll just keep everything clean and hope for the best.
That's what we're doing. I'll admit I was a little freaked out in the beginning, but I talked to somebody who had to deal with it. And I've read a lot of articles and, like I had talked to you about it, Rich, I had said there's nothing you can do about mice coming in and out.
No.
And mice are known carriers of pathogens to coops because they're in there getting feeders and all that stuff. I don't actually think I have mice because my neighbor has a cat and that cat does its job really well, I think, because I've never seen a mouse.
I've got them. They're around.
They are around. I mean, it could be I have chipmunks. So the bottom line is the rodents can get in the tiniest little holes.
Yep.
And so,
and
exactly, Ricky. The bird flu is why eggs are scarce.
Yeah.
Because they're having to
destroy. I feel for you guys really bad because when you have that many birds you're trying to keep away from getting sick like that, and just sitting here in 3 minutes, all those obstacles you guys have to deal with, it just seems astronomical in how you deal with it. I applaud you. I don't know how.
It's hard. It's hard because
all the same stuff. Sorry, Lisa, go ahead. I cut you.
No, it's all right. I was going to say it's hard. I was going to say to Ricky, a lot of the commercial flocks are having to be put down because of the fact that there's an infected bird and the whole flock has to be put down. So that's why there's shortages of eggs and turkey and chicken. The other thing is that we had a meat bird die the other day, which was kind of strange because they're older now, but it wasn't a Cornish cross, and they're notorious for dropping like flies. But it was one of the Royal Grey broilers, and we found her deceased, and that kind of bothered me because she went from fine to dead. So now I've been checking on the meat birds 3 and 4 times a day. And the only reason why is like what you said, Tony, it's an investment. We've got a lot invested in these birds. We had 36 of them. We're now down to 31. And the reality of it is that's how you put that food in your freezer.
Yeah.
It's an investment. The big thing, Tony, for me, it's cleanliness. Everything. Keep the birds clean. Keep everything clean. And the rest of it, you know what, if it's going to happen, you can only do so much. And to worry about it, I'm going gray enough. So you could sit and worry about it and go totally white, and it's not worth it. So just do your best.
I think what I find very interesting is just what you said in the cleanliness part of it. And that's how I'm going to point the Brady Bunch point here, how the 4 of us in one way connect in just that. I know with canning and preserving, I'm worried about the cleanliness and what's tested and safe. You're worried about the birds and how you got to keep that clean, as well as I know Lisa's got the same issue. Slava, I'm not sure if you have birds or not. Sorry, but I know you have gardening, and you got, but you do gardening, and so you got the bugs you got to worry about, and plants and everything. And collectively, we as a homesteading community have the same issue and trying to fight that constantly. But the benefit in the end is just what Rich said. It's to be able to put it on your shelf and know that that's there. And that's the sacrifice we all make to get that done. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and, you know, that was one of the things that I was reading articles on the flu issue, was that the cleanliness, obviously, but the other thing is the majority of us who have birds don't have them crowded like a commercial flock does. And so the cleanliness barrier is actually better for us than it is for them, because with all those birds packed into a tight home, there's no way that they could keep it as clean as we could. And that was one of the things that they were saying, was that, and one of the things that I feel very strongly about is, you know, I'm raising eggs, I'm raising animals for meat. That doesn't mean I want them penned up and not having any quality of life. So, you know, that's why I could have built something smaller for our meat birds, but I didn't feel it would be big enough for all the uses that we needed. I want the animals to live their lives. And if something happens, there's nothing I can do about it. You know, it's just like hailstorms hitting gardens and everything like that, or a mason jar lid not sealing. I mean, it happens. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. Who was it that had the hail today? Was it Gail?
Gail Southern Living in Texas. She had the golf ball size hail like we did. That's
nuts. We had nickel size the other night, and it hurt going out. And Holly saw 2 birds out there and ran out and got the birds and put them in the pole barn. I'm like, you're braver than me. The chicken getting hit by a nickel-sized piece of hail, it hurts us. I can't imagine a little body like that.
Yeah,
it does hurt. It does hurt. I got caught out in the hail yesterday. Ryan had just left, and he, you know, I went down to check on the meat birds because it looked like it was going to storm, and I said, let me go down there, because they have one feeder in their shelter that's out of the water if it rained, and then they have the other one, because I know if it rains, they're not going to go out to the feeder. So I have that one in there in case they have hail and all that stuff. And so I made sure that feeder had food in it and made sure their water was okay, checked on everybody. And I just made it up to the garage, and I had to move the truck because the hail was coming down. And for what, 2 seconds, we got like 5 drops of rain. We got more hail.
We got a ton of rain. So Slava, you didn't get any of the storms that were up this way? It didn't make its way down to Illinois? No?
No. It was dry all week. I had to water my garden twice a day, like in the morning, in the evening, because it was so dry. It's terrible.
Hey, yeah, Barb, I see your question. Barb, that one that had we got one chick that had the yolk hadn't been fully absorbed into the chick and was hanging down below its vent. And I saw that and quickly did some research on it. It's like, okay, we can figure this out. She wasn't doing great, but I thought, okay, we can figure it out today. It just looked like she was going to go. So we called the store and they said, bring her back. And so that's why we traded for a golden comet. My worry was that they were just going to put it down. But the gal up there said, let me try a few things. So hopefully it's going to do well. It just deteriorated, Barb. So thanks for asking.
Yeah.
I hate, we have had such good luck. We've had a few that passed as young chicks last year, and we lost one to a feral cat and one to a hawk. And for us to let our girls just free range from the morning till night with very little supervision, we have, knock on wood here, we've done surprisingly well.
Good.
Yeah.
That's why we buy a lot. I figure I'm going to lose a few this summer. You just know you try everything you can to keep them. The bald eagles fly over and see dinner. So,
yep. Absolutely. It's wild. We have not lost any laying chicks at all. We've never lost a laying chick. Meat birds. Oh my gosh. Meat
different
birds
just though, right?
Yeah. And I just, like when we had the Red Rangers, no problem. We didn't lose any. Cornish cross. Oh, my word. And then same thing with the turkeys. The first batch of turkeys we had no problem. And then I'm reading all these things people are saying on Instagram about turkeys being impossible to raise. They're always dying. It's true. It's true. And so it's pretty challenging. Hey, Chris and Larry Homestead. It's
interesting. It's interesting raising any of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what I love them out free ranging because I sent a note to Daz the other day and about his fruit trees and his chickens down there and the benefit of that. And he said made some comment about dropping nitrogen bombs, and I'm like, yep, that's what my girls do all over the yard. So Slava, your garden would explode if you had a few chickens running around there.
Well, I have to buy the dehydrated bombs.
Yeah.
And drop them around.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lisa, you got anybody else to come up? I can jump out.
No, there's plenty of room. Sorry, Vineyard Chicks. I saw what you said about your turkeys. I'm sorry. I hope they're doing all right. And Grace and Chris and Larry, they lost their turkeys. Yeah, the last one that we had, we thought it might have been like a vitamin deficiency or something strange we could treat, but she was completely paralyzed and couldn't take care of herself. And she was fine for 2 weeks. And all of a sudden was paralyzed. So because we did a lot of research online, and one of the things they said was that if you could pick her up and her legs would drop, then there was hope to help her, but her legs didn't drop. And so she was walking on her hocks and they were getting so big. But like I even went to the store and got vitamin D because they talked about a vitamin D deficiency, and we were giving her that and vitamin B and
Oh my goodness.
Isn't there
because I couldn't find Polyvisol.
Isn't there a feed that will contain all that so you don't have to play amateur chemist?
They were getting turkey feed and it was 30% protein, but it didn't have they say that some of them come out of the shell like that. And because they're not absorbing a certain vitamin. So that's why we played chemist, because they said that if you give it to them for a week. Sometimes that's really helpful, and then they do fine. But vineyard. Simply Jan was asking vineyard chicks. I know one of the things that I do, and I know Simply Jan is saying apple cider vinegar, honey, and garlic. I don't think I have it here. It's by Strong. It's called Chick Elixir, and it's all essential oils.
Apple cider vinegar, I know with chickens, we do that from fall into early spring. When it gets warm and you add the apple cider vinegar, it'll actually raise the temperature of the chickens. So I don't do that in the summer, but that's a great, something for their gut. And we do garlic and some other herbs and things in with their water year round just to keep their gut good, because they're eating a lot of who knows what. Or oregano. That's what Holly just said, oregano. Yeah, they're eating worms and stuff.
Yeah, that's what's in this. This is Strong Animals. I'm not, no paid promotion whatsoever. We bought a chick kit the first time we got it, and it's infused with oregano, essential oils, prebiotics, calcium, vitamins D and E, and electrolytes. And I will tell you right now, this stuff has been great for sick chickens. It's been really good. And I really like the product. And I will say this, when I bought the chick box for $19.99, and I know this sounds kind of silly, it had all these products for raising your chicks. And so this was back before I knew anything. And I bought the box, and inside the box was a coupon booklet. And of course, they touted it as, for $19.99, you get all this and coupons. Well, I look in and the coupons are expired.
Oh,
great.
So I emailed the company and I said, the coupons are expired. Send me a new book. That's all I wanted, right? They sent me another whole box of the products.
nice.
But not the box size, the full size products.
Wow.
Which was quite an expense. And I had it like in 3 days. It was that quick. They really stood by their product. So I really like it. Good night, Ava Potterfield. Hello, Lashes Journey. So I really like that product. I think it's really good.
Have you done a product review video? That sounds like a perfect one to talk about customer service, and especially if the products do work. I do product reviews of different things I use in the garden and all that, and it's amazing the views you get. But I would know nothing about that box. Good idea for a video.
Well, thanks. Maybe I'll do that. So a lot of times I take that stuff for granted. I figure people don't want to see it. You know what I mean? Because I know that even though I know that I won't promote something that I don't think is great, and I'll go right to Kelzyme. Like when I first did the Kelzyme video, I wouldn't give an opinion on it because I didn't know. But I got to tell you, I Kelzyme the crap out of everything now because I'm so impressed with how my plants look. And now the Kelzyme rep thinks it's hilarious because I just keep saying I'm going to Kelzyme the crap out of everything because that's the only way I can grow anything. But yeah, that's a good point.
You're going to get an employment letter here pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, and the only reason why I have to click paid promotion is I'm still using the product that they sent me. So that's technically a paid promotion, but I've done all the things I was supposed to do per the agreement. So that video was really extra for me. But I'm waiting to buy the stuff because then I can really go down on it and say, I'm going to Kelzyme the beep.
I love those when people review stuff. That's why I've done them, because like I didn't know that garden fabric. We did some research and we thought it would be good, but it's been awesome. And I'm surprised how many people have looked at it that were beginners like I was, or I'll watch other people's stuff before I'm going to buy something because I don't know if it's good or bad. And if it's one of you guys, I know you, I know a little bit about you and how you handle your gardens or your animals. And if you're going to say something gets the thumbs up, I'll probably go get it. So
I don't know if Slava's the same way I am in the canning. I mean, that's the way it is. You kind of get used to who's doing what, and you learn who you trust and who you don't
Yeah.
trust, and
Right.
and if they're using a product, you're going to use it. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, Casey is probably really tired of hearing me, but the minute we get a sponsor for Around the Hay Bale, and I don't mind saying this, is I turn around and I'm like, not promoting anything until I get a chance to try it.
Yep, for sure.
You know.
Well, in the end, it comes down to it where your channel's gonna pay if it's a bad product. I mean, why?
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
I look at it a little same way, but I look at it different. I'm not going to turn around. It's the same argument I got into it with another lady today. Why do you always do safe and tested recipes? I do them because I don't want my food going out and killing somebody. I don't know how much more plainer I can be about
Yep.
that. I don't
Yep.
care if you've done it for 40 years and nobody died from it. It's going to take the one time you do it, and that person's going to die. And then what are you going to feel like when
Yep.
that happens?
There you go.
So back on the same thing, the channel has to have that respect out there of, I'm only promoting what I think works, and it did work for me or it didn't work for me. So
Yep. Responsibility.
Integrity.
it is. Yes.
And integrity. Absolutely. And Ricky Ventures said the same thing. And yeah, Ricky, I mean, I have a deal that I've worked out with somebody and I still haven't put it up there because I'm still using it. So I'm trying to figure out things, but I partnered with a company and we're just trying to figure things out because I want to make sure that I'm really thrilled with the way it works.
I'm waiting for Ricky Ventures to get a job with the state of Minnesota, the way he's promoting the state in his videos.
Tourism.
Everybody should watch Ricky's videos. He's coming up on a milestone. Get him over the hump, folks. But great. You get to see our beautiful state, and he does a great job of filming everything in our state. It's been fun to watch. He gets to places I've never been to. It's like, how have I never been there? So
yeah, absolutely.
Watch Ricky.
Yeah, it was funny. I remember when I mean, I hope that this comes through for people. One of the things that I've always done is, you know, when things don't go well or if we screw up, you know, and one of the things was, and Slava, you may remember this, but hey, LP, one of the things was I put apple cider vinegar in galvanized waters.
Mm-hmm.
Bad idea.
Yes.
It rots them.
Yes.
So we had 2 brand new expensive galvanized waters, and Lisa put apple cider vinegar in there and the coating just came right off. So Ryan now has to go through this thing of wire brushing it and spraying it just because I'm trying to get them along for temporary waters. But I finally moved on. I don't even think I'm going to get galvanized waters. And I thought of doing a video on that. Why? Because I'm so frustrated with them at this point. And it's beyond my apple cider vinegar faux pas. I've had more leaks and seals go wrong. And at the price of $80 a water, it's horrible.
We use the plastic ones. They've been incredible. They plug in real nice and easy and keep them heated all winter, which you got to have here, which you've got to have for outdoor birds. Yeah, I've seen other videos and people use the metal ones and it's like, ooh, that looks kind of, I don't know. I'm not a clean freak, but yet I look at some and it's like, ooh, that looks awful. I don't want my birds putting their beak in there. Forget the bird flu. You're going to give them something else.
Hey, little Frenchie in Big Texas. Yeah, we like the metal ones because they keep the water cooler in the summertime. And in the wintertime, when it's the season. So with a metal water, the double wall founts, you put them on a heated base.
Yep. Okay.
And it's a lot easier to navigate and fill every day and clean because I'm not having to take the plug out, move the water, or move the heating element, all that kind of stuff.
Ours has just got the metal or a plastic base that's got a heater in it, and then the plastic top. You just fill that, put the heater, the base on top, turn it, then flip it over.
Gotcha.
Same kind of thing, I'm sure. Just
yep. So now that we have less girls, right? For now, I've been using a heated dog bowl. But in the parts of the season where we have more, where we get like thin ice that's easily breakable, you can take the metal water and just tap it on the ground and it breaks and it's good to go. So we recently just unplugged our water heaters for everybody.
Yeah. Well, thank God we're done with that. I'm just tired of all those little expenses. I mean, and that's hard to figure in when you're looking at, are eggs profitable at $4 a dozen? It's all those little tiny things, what does water cost? I don't know. How much does a water heater really cost to run it? It's all those little pennies though that take $4 down to a lot less.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that our chicken waterers, because they're thermostatically controlled, because the base will only kick on at a certain temp. So we leave them out there plugged in. They're pennies. They're not a big deal. The pig stock tank water is a lot bigger.
Yep.
Of a draw on things. And that was another reason why we recently got a brooder plate for the pheasants. Because that way we really don't have so many brooders going.
Yeah.
Now we do, but because we've got turkeys and pheasants, but we're just trying to, with the pheasants, we thought it was a good idea and they're loving it. They're just like right underneath it. Like, this is great.
Fun. Yeah. Tony, your thing about the preserves and jams and all that, I'm going to be watching that excitedly. Our Holly came in today and, oh, the blueberries, they're, the blueberry bushes that we planted last year are starting to leaf out again. So it's like, okay, you survived Minnesota winter, but if we can get some fruit this year, then we got to look at preserving. So
right.
A whole new realm for us. We've never done that. So a lot of
any questions you got, let me know.
I appreciate that.
I do want to address, I want to address Old Ways Gardening and Prepping came in, and I was in Black's tropical height, and there was a conversation going on about styles of canning, and I just want to clarify to her the conversation I was talking about wasn't the conversation we had. I had a lady who was supposed to be in the collaboration, and I won't say the name of the channel, but she jumped me about doing a collaboration where I'm requiring it to be a safe and tested recipe. And she was like, I've done this for 47 years, never had a problem. My thing is I don't want to put nothing out there in a collaboration, have it come back and be an issue. And you guys don't realize how much on a daily basis I deal with that. I get ridiculed because of it. I get into arguments with people, and I'm not trying to go out there and argue. That's not what I'm about. I'm just trying to establish that my recipes are safe and tested. So I just didn't want her to think I was picking her out. It was an actual phone conversation I had. So sorry.
Everybody's entitled to follow what they choose to follow.
Yeah.
Just like, Slava is canning her stuff. She chooses to can it. That's her stuff. Nobody has to agree with her or disagree. I mean, to me, that's the way it should be.
It's always fun to watch those videos because Slava probably does things different than I do and does different things than Tony does. It's those little nuances. Sometimes it's like, why am I not doing it that way? That is such a better way. It saves time and it, cuts down on the chance of bacteria or whatever. It's amazing watching the videos. I watch a lot. Everybody's got little nuances, which are fun to watch.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people talk about putting in the plastic dome brooder waters. A lot of people talk about putting rocks in there for chicks. I've never had to do it for chicks. They do just fine, right? They just walk through it and they keep going and everything's fine.
No, Lisa, they walk in it and then they poop in the water. Then they leave.
Yes.
These are chickens we're talking about.
They do. The turkeys do the same thing. But I will say I'm using it for the pheasants.
I saw that.
And they said to do it because I'm using a chicken waterer for pheasants. And I'm glad that I saw that tip because when they were so tiny that they could have sat in there and drowned. That's how small they were. So I was like, ooh.
Do you have you've got chicken chicks right now, don't you?
No, I have the 5 turkeys that we hatched.
it'd be interesting to see the size difference. 'Cause I saw your video and it looked like the pheasants were about the size of my day-old chicks, but apparently they're very small.
They're very. I'll see if I can get a close up or side by side to send to you. But I put like what did Belly Acres call them? Gypsy tears or something. They're the little glass flat rocks that people put in flower arrangements.
Yep.
And then I picked up some rocks from the driveway because I didn't have enough. Let me tell you, that's a pain in the water because all the grain gets in it and it's like sludge. But it works. It works. I wanted to go back to Cali homesteading.
Yeah. Hey, Pooh Bear.
You got 10 turkeys. What kind did you get, Callie? So Slava, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
Well, everything is good. I'm can't wait for next week when the temperatures goes down so I can go and finish all of my plantings because this week it was impossible. And only the summer crops are left. So all of the cool vegetables are ripening. Like my kohlrabi is almost the size it's supposed to be, so I can harvest it pretty soon.
Jeez.
My Romanesco is also finally putting on heads, so I'm so excited. This is the first year I'm growing Romanesco. I've had like regular cauliflower and regular broccoli before, but Romanesco was always one of those veggies that I kind of put away. I thought it's hard to grow. I don't know why. You know, vegetables that look different, we think they are hard to grow, but they are just as easy as typical regular vegetables. So I'm glad I gave it a try, and it looks cool, and I hope it will taste good as well. And unfortunately, my other brassicas are bolting. So my Napa cabbage started flowering, and my bok choy and tatsoi are also flowering. So they are done, and I have to decide which one I have to leave for seed saving, and the others have to get out because I don't want them cross-pollinating. I don't have enough space to space them out, like, 100 feet and more. My small yard can only fit so many.
Slava, what's your last frost date usually?
It's officially the end of April, like April 27 or 28, but we sometimes get frost in the beginning of May. So usually people start planting here around Mother's Day, but that's because people traditionally growing only like tomatoes and peppers, stuff like that. But if you want to grow cool vegetables, brassicas and peas and stuff like that, you have to start early because if I haven't planted my peas in March, I wouldn't have any peas. Right now it's blooming and I already have a little tiny pods forming.
Wow.
Some people, like one of my friends, she told me, I can never grow peas successfully. And I'm like, when do you plant it? And she's like, in May. I'm like, it's too late. Peas doesn't like hot temperatures. And in Chicago, we get hot temperatures in May. So you have to plant peas in March. And it's one of those veggies that can tolerate frost. So I had used plastic covers on my raised beds, and I only removed them in the end of April. So now I can finally, don't have any plastics in the yard. But, in early spring, that's what I have to do. I have to protect my veggies the way I can. And then in the fall, I can do the same thing. I can extend my season all the way into December. So even for Christmas, I can still harvest some of my spinaches, kales, and stuff like that. And certain veggies can even survive the cold climate here. So like, I'm not sure if you've heard of this veggie. It's called mash. It's a leafy green, similar to spinach. It's kind
Nice.
it's kind of tasteless. It doesn't have a very pronounced taste, just the same way as spinach. So you can sow it in fall, like in September, October, and it will grow and it will overwinter. nothing will happen with the leaves. Even like under 2 feet of snow, you can dig and have green leaves. So like in
Wow.
January and February, I was picking marsh for my salads. And right now it's blooming.
Excuse me.
So it is blooming right now, and I will leave few plants so I can collect seeds and I can sow it again in the coming fall. So I love this little plant. It grows very low, just like, spinach, and I love it. And also kale grows here well. Like it's a biennial here, so it goes into next year and then it blooms. So I love it.
Good night, Heather Lynn.
You've got such a long season compared to us, Slava. It's amazing. Just how, aren't you, you're kind of central Illinois?
I'm all in Chicago.
Oh, in Chicago. Well, you're not that
Yeah.
far south of us. It's just amazing, the difference. Our last frost date is going to be here mid-May, mid to late May, and I'm scared until Memorial Day to put stuff out. So, and I don't have my peas out yet because we're working on infrastructure things, improvements in the garden. So maybe this weekend we'll get the peas in, but you do what you got to do. But you're
Yeah, we
so
have
far
to
ahead
do
of us. Wow.
Yeah, we had 90s. I mean, it's crazy. But,
I've seen videos of people picking strawberries and different types of things, and I'm just like, I would love to put something in the garden, but I can't. So
Yeah. I finally got tired of it, and I just started planting things, and I realized they may fail, but I will tell you, and Slava knows this because we talked about it last week, I didn't want to go through all this trouble and have these seedlings and lose them.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's great that I have stuff out in the greenhouse, but that does mean that I have to watch the weather and I have to cover them at night if anything happens, because I could lose them. I did uncover my strawberries today, but they took a while to be green. They're under straw all winter. But I did uncover them because they looked okay. So now it's like yet another plant that I have to cover. And it's fine. I mean, I'll just do that. But I mean, I just want to see if we can actually get early girl tomatoes, maybe in July instead of September would be great. Everybody grows these really cool varieties and we grow the basic.
What zone are you in, Lisa?
4B.
Yeah, that's what we are too.
Yeah.
And you seem much colder than we are. I think we're the ice box all the time. So
elevation. What's your elevation?
It's all average terrain. I bet you we're 600 feet here.
Over 5,300.
Okay, there it is right there. Okay.
So, hey, Northern Girl Hobbies, welcome in.
And I'm zone 5B. So just one zone higher, but what a difference, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
And 5B is in my town.
Nice.
Because we're at the intersection, and 4B is here, and then there's 5B.
Yeah. My strawberries are actually just starting to bloom.
6B.
Wow.
You're 6B. Slava, what was the strawberries?
Starting to bloom. So that means in 1 month we will have strawberries, because I've noticed the pattern over the past years that it's exactly 1 month from the time they start blooming to the first harvest of strawberries. So sometime in the middle of June I'll be canning strawberry jam finally. I can't wait.
Those annual things. We were waiting and waiting for our asparagus to come up, but it was so cold. The other day the asparagus came up, so it's like, oh, now we're in it. So for our February challenge today, we have put away the first food for February. So got some asparagus frozen and sealed and ready. Yeah, but I'd love to have strawberries. We're hoping to do some of that, but it's on the list.
I only have asparagus enough for one meal.
Hey, you've got it. We found some that was that people, I think, in the past have thrown the old asparagus out in the woods. Today we found 4 or 5 different spears out in the woods. So it's like, okay, we're putting little flags out marking where the asparagus is in the woods. So
yeah. Willow Way Ranch, I just put the link in the chat to Tony's channel, and it was his most recent video. See if that works. And Dawn Ray B, yes, it's Mash, is I believe the way Slava said it.
Yeah, it's Mache.
Okay. And
like spinach, huh?
Little Frenchie in Big Texas says she loves it. It was one of her mom's favorite in France.
Yeah, it is French. It is French vegetable. That's why it's called mash.
Very cool.
Northern Girl Hobbies. Asparagus takes years, 2 years from when you plant it till you should harvest it.
Yeah.
You can early, but you really strain the plant. So,
Hey, Southern Sown and Grown, Wendy. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we have asparagus in the hugelkultur raised bed. They were like 2-year crowns or something that Ryan planted. And then Ryan tried to grow additional ones from seed. And so this year we're waiting to see what we get, but I don't know how that's going to go.
From seed, it takes 2 years. If you've got the crowns, then you should be able to harvest the following year.
Yeah, we haven't been able to yet.
If anybody needs seed for asparagus, I've got plenty of it. Drop me a note on the channel. We'll get you some seed. Got a bunch.
Yeah, we knew that it would be a long time from the seeds, but what we did was he bought the crowns and we were not able to get any, so we'll have to reevaluate. I will say we have I call it the back garden because the back of my house faces the main road. You guys see the front of my house and the farm. But good night, Willow Ray. So we had extra seed potatoes and we ended up planting 3 more rows of potatoes in that garden because it's really a garden that doesn't get a lot of light. We've grown zucchini there, but not a lot of other things have done well. So I'm hoping the potatoes do well because if we could move all the potatoes to that would free up a lot of space. Northern Girl Hobby said she'd do a seed swap with you, Rich.
We can swap, sure, but I can just do a seed giveaway. We don't need to swap.
Well,
I've got a lot.
So Jennifer, his channel is the Old Swedes Farm.
Yeah.
On YouTube, so that'd be cool. Jennifer's awesome.
Yeah, pushing towards 1,000 friends of the channel. If anybody wants to come on, we'll trade friends for eggs.
Hey, Iris at the color drop. Hey, Growing with Hudson. Hey, Audacity Dawning. Audacity Dawning, what link are you looking for? And Rich, Northern Girl Hobby says she has rare Hopi pale gray squash.
I am a big squash pumpkin grower. Yeah, I'll trade with you. Drop me a note on the channel. I'm in. I love squash.
I can send you some jam.
There you go.
I will drop Rich's channel link in there.
I have gotten some incredible seeds this year. We're going to be planting a lot. We do have a lot of room, so which we're blessed with. But I want to try all sorts of stuff. We did a seed swap with our friends out in New Hampshire. There, Celtic was it Celtic Farm? I can never.
Celtic Roots.
Celtic Roots. We got some great seeds from that seed swap. So.
That's
there you
awesome.
go, Jennifer. I posted Rich at the Old Swedes Farm. Hello, Cottonwood Ranch. Good night, Ricky Ventures. Thank you. Thanks, Audacity Dawning. Which link are you looking for, Audacity Dawning? Are you looking for the one to Tony's channel?
I think Jesse was asking somebody to test it. The link he has is an old one I had him look at, I think. The new one's different. So I think that's where the problem is.
Are you able to post in? You can't post in the chat.
I can't post in the chat. No.
Okay. Hey, all right. Good night, Chris and Larry Homestead. Thanks for being here. Have a good night, little Frenchie in Big Texas. Looks like Jennifer at Northern Girl Hobbies is your new friend, Rich.
Love you. I'll do it right back. Hey, gardeners, and that's what's so fun about the YouTube community. I mean, I watch some of them, and it's little Frenchie and Big Tech. Ann is harvesting stuff before I've even got things in the garden, and Barb down south and all those. But you meet people in different parts of the country, but then people in your own part, so you can commiserate a little bit, And Slava, you think it's bad, and then we're up north going, boy, we wish we could have our hands in the dirt, so.
Mm-hmm.
And we think it's bad, but then there's people in Ontario that think it's even worse. So.
Yeah, I always think of myself that I'm living in the north, that I'm one of the latest gardeners,
Oh, no.
Well, Northern Girl Hobbies is up in Canada, and so she knows our plight. She's in Ontario, Rich, so
okay,
she gets our plight. But on the other side of it, Slava, I don't want 97 degrees, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I told Slava the other day it was in the 70s, and I said it feels like summer to us because we haven't had it in so long. I had a T-shirt on.
That's why I went mowing today with no sunscreen. It just felt so good, and then 3 hours later, I'm like, boy, I'm baked like a lobster. So.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was funny. I know last week on the live, we talked like how we hardly get rain, and we were talking about how when I went and got some free marketplace stuff, it was actually raining. Today we go to get hay, and it's not far from us, and I'm sitting there and we're watching the clouds, and they're kind of rotating. We were like, oh, and then finally it starts raining, and we're like, but we drove home and we were out of it, but we were able to get the bale unloaded. So that's what Tony was talking about earlier. I put a reel on Instagram about Ryan unloading one of the bales.
Lisa,
good night, John Ray B.
You put out I don't know if it was a challenge, but you just talked about your first aid kit and all that back many times ago. And I had my first aid kit, and I knew there were some things. Okay, I've got a flashlight in there. When my power went out last night, I've got my kit out. And I thought, okay, I can put these little glow sticks in there. You need to go to your first aid kit and go to your kit occasionally and just look at the age of things. The glow sticks that I pulled out last night, they worked, but they're best if used by 2012. Well, I need to renew those. They work fine, not as long probably, but it's like, that just reminded me of your first aid video, and you need to look at that stuff, because the first aid stuff, who cares if your glow stick doesn't work? But if your medicine or your ice pack that break, I'm not prepared.
Well, but here's the thing, like that's always an evolving thing, right? Because we talked about here how we're hoping to have piglets in July and August, and so we have to get scour guard. We have fly strike medicine for the pig's ears because the flies like to lay eggs in ears.
Oh.
They eat up their ears, and then basically they create a wound, and then you have to put stuff in there, right? So we got that ointment. We got scour guard because if a piglet gets diarrhea, it can kill them. Goat milk, powdered goat milk, because if the mother rejects them, we have to be able to feed them. So stuff like that, we're getting prepared. We also things like towels and blankets we have there in case we need to grab somebody, isolate them, wrap them up, whatever it is, all that kind of stuff. And it's just a constant evolving thing, but you're right. You have to check the dates on things.
Yeah.
At least when you have a birth coming, you can say, okay, I need to make sure we have X, Y, and Z. But like the Vetericin, all the antibiotics, which is no different than having kids and having a family kit that you need. We often overlook it. Hey, Sheila B. So it's important stuff.
Yeah. It just totally hit me in the face last night when the power goes out. It's one of those, what do you do? And I started scrambling. It's like, we have no lanterns. We have, no power source because my generator was bad. Just all those little things, being out, on the farm away from everything. And
it was a poop show.
It taught me a lot. I made some notes, and so that a good teachable moment. I taught myself a little bit how unprepared I was.
We have a lantern that I bought when we were in North Carolina because we lost power there, and Ryan was out here. So I was home by myself, and I bought it. And it was a very cheap LED lantern that you plug in with USB. Now, I know if you don't have power, you can't plug into USB. I get that. But it usually plugs into cars if you have that. The point is we keep it charged and then we take it off and we've got it. You know, and that's one thing when you're married to a flashlight addict. You have plenty of flashlights, headlamps, mag lights, you name it, they're all over the place. Hey, kill it and grill it.
My addiction's different. I have plenty of chickens, but no flashlights. We have one flashlight.
Yeah, we have more flashlights than you can shake a stick at. I could probably reach out right now and find 5.
Oh, geez.
But
We have headlamps.
I think what's important is, like, you know, Rich strikes me as somebody that will learn from his lesson. The problem is so many people out there don't. Oh, I got to get this. They get in your situation and then I'll write it down on a list and the list disappears and they never get to it. And then, you know, it's going to happen to where it's going to put somebody in a bad position. So I hope people just really pay attention to those lessons they're being taught as we go instead of just letting them go by.
Yeah.
The most valuable lesson I ever learned was when Ryan had moved down to North Carolina before me, because just like South Dakota, he had a job opportunity. He moved down in July and it was October. And in Connecticut, we didn't typically get heavy snow then. It was the day before Halloween. Mind you, we had sold the snowblower because we were moving to North Carolina. We had about 3 feet of snow. It was so bad that there were accidents everywhere. I'm not even going to go into that. But the bottom line is I always made sure I had a full tank of gas and I had money. And I didn't do that this time. I had no gas and there was no power for about 10 days. So I couldn't get gas because the gas station was only taking cash.
Mm-hmm.
So that will never happen again. No worries, Matthews Patch. Thank you. Sheila, we were in Spruce Pine, then we were in Leicester, right outside of Asheville. Yeah, so that was the only time that I felt like I was totally caught with my pants down, so to speak, because I was screwed.
Yeah.
And it probably took me about 6 hours to get home from a half hour away. And that's why I was out of gas to begin with, because I was sitting on roads forever because roads were closed. Hey, Matt Acre Farms, thanks for coming in. So it was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Check out look at Lazy Days Ahead. I love him. Check out the Mod Father, Jesse and his lovely wife.
I've seen
Lisa.
that.
Love it. So what are you guys doing this weekend? What's going on with y'all?
I have a girls' night out tomorrow. We're gonna celebrate my birthday that was yesterday.
Happy
Happy
birthday!
Thank you.
Look out,
Happy
Chicago.
birthday!
Thank you. I got a year older. Nothing to celebrate though.
Yes, it is. You're beautiful and you're a wonderful person.
21's a great birthday, Slava. Way to go.
I wish.
That's right.
I wish it was.
You can finally get in the bars now.
Yeah, I figured I always celebrate at home. But this year sorry, my kid is
It's okay.
wants attention. He just comes. He knows when when it's late at night,
Well, put him on.
wants...
Put him
Yeah,
on.
everybody's wishing you a happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, I usually do parties at home, but this year I had a Mother's Day picnic, barbecue/picnic, and I'm tired. I'm just like, I want service. I want to go out and somebody to bring food for me because last weekend I was busy and I was just cooking and it was, it was hard. So tomorrow I'm just taking my girls out and we're going to have fun. I want to leave kids and with my husband and just relax for a bit.
How's your husband feeling?
He's better. He's been to doctor a couple of times already, and his leg is fine now. He can walk. No crutches anymore.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he pulled his calf muscle a couple of weeks ago by playing with kids, and Yeah, he always gets in trouble with kids. Last night, that thing didn't taught him a lesson. You see, Tony, people don't learn from lessons usually. So after 2 weeks after injury, yesterday he was playing with kids again in the yard, and I don't know what happened. He tripped over one of my tomato pots, and he fell into one of my raised beds.
Oh
So
no.
yeah,
Wow.
I mean, good he didn't injure himself again, but I mean, that's what happens with kids and my husband, they like to play, soccer in the yard, they like to throw balls, and my poor vegetables always suffer from that.
Oh
You know
wow.
you have one too many raised beds when.
Well, half of my yard is taking with, I have 3 raised beds, and then the other half is for kids to run and
Yeah,
for
the soccer
table.
field.
Yeah. But it's very small yard, so when they play, usually the ball gets into my flower beds or vegetable stuff. But I mean, it's okay. I understand.
Plant
Yeah.
twice as much as you need because half it's going to get ruined by the soccer ball.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you got to find balance. I mean, I remember my dad had we lived on a very small piece of land like yourself in the city, and we ended up having a pool in our backyard, and my father had a garden, so he was trying to manage having chlorine water not going on his plants.
Oh my.
Lisa
No more
Kolovi, could you
cannonballs,
put
kids.
Kitchen Garden Therapies link in the chat for Northern Girl Hobbies, please? Thank you. Yep, Jen, Northern Girl Hobbies, it's Kitchen Garden Therapy is Slava's channel.
Yeah, check
Sorry,
her
Rich.
channel out. Check her channel out.
Were you going to say something, Rich?
No, I was just listening to Slava. It's great to get out. We're gonna have some friends over. I've got two, not my chickens, but two other chickens in a brine right now. We're gonna put them on the big green egg and maybe get a fire going tomorrow night. Otherwise, we got a lot of garden work to do. And my soccer team, or Holly and ours, Liverpool, they're in the finals of a tournament in England. So tomorrow at 10:45, we're watching Liverpool win a soccer game, hopefully.
Nice.
So a lot of garden work though, and there will be some 50 sunscreen on me, probably in a hat and I don't know. We got a lot of work to do. We're trying to plant in two weekends from
Yep.
now, and there's a lot of work to do. And some of it's laying down garden fabric, and it's been so darn windy, you just can't do it. So
yeah,
it's a waiting game, and then it's like, okay, no wind tonight, pounce. You
Yeah.
gotta do it when you can do it. So
It's
that's what
wind.
we're doing. So
It's
Tony, what
very
do you guys
windy
doing?
here too.
Well, yeah, it's been really windy, really windy.
Thanks, Lisa Kolovi. I appreciate you for doing that. You guys are doing a great job, mods. Take a rest. Take a rest. What I wanted to say.
Oh, Lisa, yep, I do have a green egg. It's the best. If anybody's looking for a grill, quit buying $300 grills every 5 years. Put $1,100 into a big green egg, and it's the last grill you'll buy forever. So you can smoke in it, you can cook in it. It is the best grill ever.
Awesome.
It is.
Have a good weekend, Growing with Hudson. Thanks, Lisa Kolovi. We are, I think, going to start on the pheasant pen.
Ooh.
And
now,
I think
aren't those long and just maybe as high so you can walk in there, but really long so they can fly?
Yeah, it will probably be trying to think.
Because don't you want something so that they can fly? Because they're going to, instead of bashing into a short run, they want to fly and coast, or?
They said 22 square feet per bird if they're peeped, which they'll be peeped, which means they're getting the red glasses put on them. Otherwise, you have to do
they pick on each other otherwise, or?
If they don't have the peepers on, supposedly they will. And so 22 to 25 square feet per bird with the peepers. Without the peepers, are you ready for this? 50 to 65 square feet per bird.
Wow.
Holy smokes. How many birds do you have?
12. So it's probably going to be the same size or a little shorter than the pen that we built for the meat birds.
That'd be the entire size of my entire pole barn just for 12 pheasants.
And we are going to probably put it on the backside of the meat bird one because we already have a wall.
Yeah.
Hey, Mona, sifting some soil. Welcome in.
Wow.
And so I don't know. We're thinking about that. We try to make things. We're both tall. Ryan is like 6'2", and I'm like 5'10", 5'11". And so what we try to do is make it so we can walk in things, because the turkey pen we did not. And that is a nightmare to walk under everything to clean it when I rake it out.
Yeah.
So we try to make it where you can walk in at least on an angle. We may do like an aviary roof. How would one put peepers on? That's all new to me.
Ask it to our friend.
Yeah, Jamie, it comes with a tool to install them on them. And I have to order them this weekend because we're going to have to put them on soon. But it's because the males will fight. Yeah. So we have to put them on there. Northern Girl Hobbies is a mini Yogi.
or you can get a pheasant optometrist, and they will do it. There is a large copay with that, but
yeah. But they also said that you could put a bale of alfalfa in there, which we have access to. And so they said if you put that in there when they're in the teenage stage, they will pick at that instead of picking at each other as much.
Jeez.
I don't know. Ryan's the whole pheasant guru, not me.
I've thought about them, but now I'm rethinking that first thought. Man,
we knew about this. I mean, we knew about all the glasses and all that stuff. We did know about that. But again, it's that whole go time thing where this is the time to raise the meat that isn't going to be here through winter. So it's really only temporary, any issues we have with them, because it's like the meat birds, they're only going to be here for so many weeks and then they're in freezer camp.
Well, keep showing us. There's plenty of videos to be had there, it sounds like, Lisa, and I'll be watching them because I knew nothing about the run, the glasses, none of that. I thought, you just get some birds and they're out there. They need someplace to coast, but
yeah. Ryan, it was funny, when I knew that it's like a Tractor Supply. It's called Runnings, and I had talked to them and they knew when they were getting them in. And so we had asked a while back. So the funniest thing is, what do you do when you're going to get chicks, right? You go get the brooder ready, you get the water put in, you get all that stuff. I did all the things I do for chicks. And you go to the store, what are the pheasants on? Pine shavings. They get sent home in a box, pine shavings. And I asked the lady, what do you do differently for the pheasant? She's like, nothing.
Wow.
So then I get home and I said to Ryan, I'm like, apparently they're going to eat the pine shavings and die because they're not going to eat their food. And so it was really funny because now I have a blanket in there because I didn't have any burlap. And it's funny because they're so tiny, but you hear their little feet thumping on this thing. And it is hilarious. Good night, LP. So it's pretty funny. Oh, what did Kill It and Grill It say? Wait a minute. I raised quail years ago and had problems with them falling in the water, so I put marbles or rocks in the water so they can walk across. Yeah, I have rocks all in mine for the pheasant. But I'm just curious to see. Ryan's always wanted them. He's really wanted them bad since we started all this. And then, like I had said in the video, he ordered 25 of them. They had a hatching delay. And then he was like, just go get them. Go pick them up. So we'll see how it goes, but
it'll go great.
What the heck?
Yep. Try it.
You don't know till you try it.
Try it and then keep filming it, because then we can learn from your mistakes.
Oh, thanks. Well, hey, I got 19 turkey eggs in the brooder that were a little longer than they needed to be to go in there, but I had to wait till the incubator was free from the first one. And then We have a batch of our turkey eggs in Texas right now that are going on lockdown in Sunday, so we'll see how that goes. Friend of mine on Instagram, Halbert Farm, love them. So,
Tony
nice.
Slava, are you guys on Instagram?
Yeah.
Am I following? I gotta check and see if I'm following everybody. I'll have to make a note on.
You better.
I do. It's like it. Once you're on Instagram, you're on Instagram. It's not like YouTube where you subscribe to someone and all of a sudden 2 months later you're like, how did I unsubscribe? You know?
Yeah.
I think it throws you off if you don't watch a bunch of videos. I subscribe to someone now and I watch a bunch of their videos, so then I think I'm locked in. I hope that's the secret. I'm still trying to figure it out.
I don't know. YouTube is weird.
Apparently Instagram is too. I'm
Really?
hearing things about that as well. I'm doing a homesteading challenge. I'm one of the hosts of the homesteading challenges. And apparently like notifications are an issue and everything like that.
I noticed on Instagram that they are pushing reels. So if you post something, it looks like nobody sees it. Like nobody likes, nobody comes. But then if you make a reel, suddenly you get 1,000 or 2,000 views. And I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How that happened?
Yeah, no kidding. Oh God, what did I post that I got? I couldn't even believe what the heck I got. Northern Girl Hobbies, Jennifer, you were talking about if they would make it to Canada. I'm sure customs would catch that, or they would sterilize them, quite honestly, if they put them through the machine. That's my worry. She was talking about turkey eggs.
Yep.
Yeah, they're totally pushing reels.
I have fun with the reels in making them. I'm just doing short ones, but the problem is you're so limited to how much content you can put out there. So it makes it a struggle trying to cram it in their little guidelines and setups. And so.
Yeah, I always forget to film in vertically for the, because I'm used to filming horizontally landscape for the YouTube. So anytime I'm in the garden and if something is exciting, I pick my phone and I just film horizontally. And then when I'm in, before going to bed, I go on Instagram and I'm like, oh, let me make some reel. And then all my videos are not good. They're all horizontal, nothing fits. And if I scale it up, the proportions are not right. And it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's crazy how, you have to do this vertically, this horizontally. It's just too much to remember all the time. We used to buy butchered chickens from people in South Dakota, but now we can't bring them across state lines. Yeah, there's a whole big thing about that because I know that when we were looking at pigs, we were trying to get pigs. You have to get a health certificate because I was looking at a Kuni pig in North Dakota. And when I told the owner, I said, I'm going across state lines. And at the time I worked for a county agency. And the last thing I needed was to get caught breaking a law. So I was like, I need a health certificate because the other thing is I wasn't going to have a piglet in the back of my vehicle. I was going to have a crate with a pig, 2 pigs. And I said, I can't be driving across state lines without the right paperwork because I can lose my job. And so that's when we ended up getting Sherman and the girls, and they were in state. It was a lot easier. Of course, then they were piglets too, but it was in state, so it wasn't an issue.
Careful, don't hit her.
But yeah, you have to get a health certificate, which is not a big deal. Somebody just writes that they've had their stuff and everything like that. But when you look it up, it looks very daunting. Like you have to have a vet sign it or something. I can't even find a pig vet here. That's right, Jennifer. I know you don't break no laws there. I only did it because, like I said, if I had if I had a piglet, maybe we lost Tony. If I had a piglet, that'd be different. But to have a full, I was going to be in a pickup truck with something totally out there. That was just not appropriate for my work situation at the time.
Now you can do anything.
Yeah, I would have had a lot of splaining to do.
Ma'am, you got some splaining.
Amen. Amen. So for your girls' night or girls' day, Slava, are you going out for like dinner and stuff, or do you care to share anything you're doing, or is it too personal? I totally get it.
No, we're just going to a local restaurant and just gonna have some couple of drinks, which is very rare for me. I usually don't drink. But once a year is okay.
That's right. That's right. No worries, Tony. We totally get it. And Rich, you're going to be planting for 2 weekends in a row?
This is infrastructure weekend, so if I can get the peas in tomorrow, that'd be great. We're adding cattle panels. I'm making a big tunnel for tomatoes. I still got to put down all the garden fabric for most of the garden. Just a lot of infrastructure stuff. Once I get that down, then it'll be set up. 2 weekends from now, my daughter will be around. She is the best, other than my dad, she is the best planter I know. She can just get down on her hands and knees and we'll go and she's just scoop, plant, top, scoop, plant. I mean, she is great. Tagging of it. It just, certain people are blessed with it. She's blessed. So.
Yep. I know Grayson Fire has the auger on her drill.
Oh, yeah.
To plant things. But Slava, I planted, Rochelle at Brampton Gardener sent me, pink lupin.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never had luck growing lupin. And I used to do it all the time when I was in Connecticut because I really admired them when I was in Maine. They were beautiful. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to see how they do. And then the reason why I wanted to tell you this is I also planted calendula.
Nice.
So I will be reaching out to you and saying, what do I do with this? Because I know there's so many things to do, but I want to know how to, I guess, pick it, preserve it before I turn it into things. But I know you have videos.
Yeah, lupins are perennial. So when you plant them this year, they may not bloom this year. It depends. Some perennials, I think lupins are one of those that bloom next year.
Oh, wow.
Because they are perennial. So they will just take their sweet time growing, building root system, and, they will grow nicely, and then next year they'll bloom. And then calendula is annual. So you'll have to sow it every year, but it self-sows itself. Like it self-seeds like crazy. I have calendula popping all over my property.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's so easy to grow. Calendula is one of those set it and forget it things. So you will not have issues with calendula for sure.
Calendula popped up literally in about 24 hours.
Yeah, it's very fast and easy. My calendula is almost ready to bloom, and I not the one that self-seeded itself from last year, the one that I planted indoors because I have regular calendula that from year to year it's been just sowing itself. But this year I wanted to try some new crazy varieties from Baker Creek. They had like one that looks like strawberry, like it has such a nice bright colors, like in pinks and red, because calendula traditionally is orange and yellow. But okay. I wanted to try those nice pink and red varieties. So I planted 4 new varieties of calendula indoors, and then I transplanted them outside last month. So they're about to bloom. So hopefully in a couple of days, I'll be able to film, and maybe I'll make a special video for you about calendula.
You're so sweet.
Cool.
You're so sweet.
As soon as my annual flowers and herbs start blooming or, growing large, I try to harvest them right away because that's when they are the best. When they are young and fresh, those first leaves of mint and lemon balm, and they are the best. They have the most power in them. So I've already harvested and dehydrated some of the lemon balm and other leaves for teas. I actually uploaded a new video today about making fermented tea out of different fruit and bush, like fruit trees and bushes, but from leaves, not from the fruits itself, because there's no fruit yet. Obviously, it's just the spring.
Yep.
But like sour cherry tree or quince tree, their leaves are great for tea, and a lot of people don't know that. And you can, early in the spring, you can just go pick leaves, and you can dehydrate them and use them right away, or you can ferment them and make the tea even better, because
Wow.
that's what a lot of people don't know. But green tea and black tea are actually from the same plant. The only difference between green tea and black tea is the fact that in order to make black tea, they ferment the leaves, and it becomes, darker. So when you brew it, it's dark, and then green tea is light. So if you just harvest your herbal stuff, all of your herbs, and you dry them and you make tea out of them, it's very light tea, very light in color and light in taste. But if you take the same plants, the same mint, lemon balm, I don't know,
Wow.
currant leaves, whatever you have, and you ferment it, then it becomes a stronger and darker tea, and it develops new flavors. So it
Wow.
kind of like when I did the sour cherry and quince, and you can do that with apple, tea leaves, and pear. If you ferment it and dry it, it tastes quite like black tea. It's very similar in taste, very nice. So it's
Wow.
a DIY tea.
That's really cool. And I just want to say, I'm throwing this out there. Slava is in an upcoming episode of Round the Hay Bale with us. And what blew me away about her is not her usual knowledge of plants and everything, but you ask her a question and she will blow your mind with the responses. She has such knowledge you would not believe. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, Round the Hay Bale is on Apple, Google, and Spotify, and Alexa tuned in. So every Mondays we have new episodes, but she will be in one of our episodes that we recorded the other night. So it was
There you
very
go.
cool. And Jennifer at Northern Girl Hobbies left you a comment, Rich.
There we go.
So that
Hopefully
is
it's a good one.
awesome. She said, "Send me some seeds, man."
Rich, hate your channel. I'm off.
Aw. And Jennifer Anger said, "You look amazing, Slava."
Oh, thank you.
21
So
never
sweet.
looked so good.
I love the pink on you. It just really makes everything pop.
I like pink. I feel like it makes me younger, look younger.
Here's a question for you. Brenda would like to know, what can I do with sweet mint? I planted some for experiment.
There's a lot of things you can do. Mint jelly. If you're into canning, you can do mint jelly. You can eat it fresh, obviously. I like using mint in sandwiches. It adds a nice fresh flavor. Also, you can dehydrate, make tea out of it. So there's so many things.
Isn't that one of the ingredients in the proverbial mint julep? Or is that something totally different? I'm not a julep guy, but
I haven't done julep too, but it's on my mind.
okay. We just had the Kentucky Derby, so I think that mint julep's come and gone now.
So with sweet mint, would you say that you should plant it like regular mint in the sense that it should be in a container, not in the ground? Because
All mints are invasive.
there you
All
go.
mints. And not only mints, everything that's in the mint family. So bee balm, lemon mint, lemon balm, they all are like that. They are invasive.
So the mints
Gotcha.
are like bee balm. They just put out those runners and just keep
Yeah.
spreading. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
bee-
yes, mint is good with mosquitoes. Not as strong as citronella plant. For mosquitoes, I would suggest citronella. That's the strongest plant that keeps mosquitoes away. But all herbs that have strong scent, like basil, tarragon, thyme, oregano, they all keep those nasty bugs out. But you need a lot of them. You need to surround your whole property with herbs that have strong scent, and it will help.
I am not a fan of mint. I do have a package of it. So if somebody wants those seeds, send me an email. I do have a package of it.
I like to make a lemonade and just throw a bunch of mint in there
Nice.
for to add the flavor.
Hmm.
And tea, of course. Like in the summer, I usually do cool drinks, but in the winter time, I like my teas.
That's good.
constantly drink tea. That I love it.
Jennifer at Northern Girl Hobbies was saying that like raspberries, they take over.
Mm-hmm.
Except for mine. We're working on it though. We're working on it. I'm just hopeful that the two that I planted this year survive, because one thing we have noticed is the two that we bought from a local nursery do well. The others that we have bought from big box stores and all that kind of stuff have not survived. And the two that we planted recently were from a big box store that were dormant. And we wanted to see how it goes. If it doesn't work, I'm going to try more from the nursery. And I went to the nursery the other day to look for fruit trees, because one of the things I wanted to add was fruit trees. But the problem is the fruit trees are cold hardy. The blossoms are not.
Yeah,
So
all of them are like that.
yes, well, I didn't know that. And so I found that out at the greenhouse. And ironically, believe it or not, in South Dakota, they had asked me all I did was ask about fruit trees, and they told me they would be in the end of the month. And I said, they asked me, do you want us to plant them? And I said, no, we would plant it ourselves. And they said, good, we're booked out till fall.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So, but apparently, because I love peaches, that's my favorite. And there's apparently a type of peach you can grow here, but you would have to really protect the blossoms.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked the lady honestly, because you know me, Slava, I go in there, I said, how many years are they going to get frosted? And she goes, pretty much every year. I said, thank you. Because why bother?
Yep.
Yeah, you need to get yourself some frost blankets,
Yeah.
and then you can throw it on the tree and tie it in the bottom. It doesn't give you that much protection, but like 5-10 degrees, it will help.
Yeah. Well, I went in there initially looking for blackberries. I love blackberries, and I wanted to plant them in another location, and they didn't have any. So I will keep looking.
Yeah, I want to buy 2 more trees this year too. I want an apple and a pear. That's the only two
Nice.
I'm missing. I already have 8 trees, which I squeezed into my small yard. But
8 apple trees?
no, 8 different. I have 2 peaches, I have quince, I have sour cherry, I have pawpaw tree, which is tiny,
Wow.
really small. Have you heard of pawpaw?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more Oklahoma. A lot of people have that.
Well, it's supposed to be hardy to Illinois, to Chicago zone, and it's so small. I mean, I planted one last year, and then this year I planted one more because I heard that you need 2 for pollination.
Yeah.
And I also planted plum this year, and I need 2 more trees. I have room for 2 more trees, and that's it. And it will be all.
You don't have an apple tree yet?
Not yet.
you just read up on them, because I've been doing a lot of reading on Minnesota apple trees and pear. And what I want to start with is 4 apple trees, 2 pear trees. You need to have companion trees to pollinate. So if you get one of each, you might not get fruit. So just really read up on that.
Yeah, I've read that too. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna go with that. But I do have quince tree, and I know that they are related. I have two.
Yep.
I have 2 quince trees, and I'm not sure. I have to do research, or I have to just talk to my dad. My dad is he has been growing fruit trees all his life, and um, he's been even grafting them. So like
Nice.
he has some trees with like 4 or 5 varieties on each. So
That
he
might be the way
likes.
to do it.
Yeah, the only thing, he doesn't
Wow.
live here. He lives in Ukraine, so I have to call him and ask him
Yeah.
all the questions I have about gardening. But it is my stepdad, and he's been always crazy about gardening and experimenting. My mom, she's a gardener too, but she just grows like typical stuff, the things that they eat, potato, corn, and stuff like that. My dad is he's the one who's experimenting and trying new varieties, and he's asking me like, oh, what did you try this year? Like, I want some seeds. So I'm sending some seeds to him. He's sending seeds to me. We're like exchanging things, and it's fun.
You need that basic gardener. Get the basics done, and then you need the experimenter.
Yeah.
Build the
Yeah, for
Frankenstein.
sure.
But that might be the way to do it, is graft 2 trees together, and then you've got it, because everything in Minnesota needs a companion. I've been talking to the state extension, and that was one of my things. Listen to your dad. My dad always told me, right before he died, talk to the state agriculture extension, check your soil, do this and this and that. Oh man. So I've been bending their ear about apples and pears. So
Yeah, it's funny how there is a lot of varieties of things that they say it's self-pollinating,
yeah.
it doesn't need a companion, but still they recommend planting another one just to have a better harvest. So like I bought 2 hardy kiwis this year, and I planted them in March, and then we had a late hard frost,
Yeah.
and it burned it. Even though I put the protection over it, it still burned it. So I thought I lost it, but now it's starting to come up again. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I'm so excited. 2 of them, both of them are coming up, putting new leaves and starting to climb. So
Wow.
Good.
they're both self-pollinating, but still I got 2 different varieties to help them with growing. And as far as I know, in my zone, they will be losing all of their growth each year.
Wow.
And then starting over.
And starting all over again. So even though they are hardy to zone 5, but I'm not sure if they're hardy to zone 4, though. I have to check.
That's how they stay hardy. They put everything below ground. They're hardy below ground.
Yes,
Put it up.
yes.
Do you have a
And
neighbor? Do you have a neighbor who's a big gardener?
I have neighbors who are Italians next door, and so they grow a lot of tomatoes and beans.
I
Yeah,
was just
stuff
wondering if
like
they
that.
could put an apple tree and a pear tree right next door, and you guys could companion plant.
They have
that way.
peaches. They have peaches growing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So we're at the end, but I had a couple questions for you, Slava, if you didn't mind answering.
Yeah, of course.
And good night to Leanne, Mennonite Farmhouse. Good night, Jennifer, Northern Girl Hobbies. Thank you for being here. So Tony at Kettle Kitchen asked Rich, but you guys can answer it, about growing asparagus in containers. And I know Danny at Wicked Awesome Gardening did a video on that, but what do you guys think about
I think you could do it. I've never done it, but I think you could. I don't think they're so deep rooted. You just got to have the right soil, a nice rich soil. But if you had a good sized pot, I'm not saying put it in a 3-inch pot, but if you've got some mass to your pots.
But the roots they spread horizontally, so
Yep.
you need a large and wide pot. Yeah.
It's not depth, but you need some to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then, whoops, clicked on the wrong one. Sorry. Grayson Fire said, Slava, let me go back. Did your cherry tree get leaves yet? Mine hasn't. I'm sorry, the chat keeps jumping. It's hard. Hold on.
Yeah, my sour cherry tree got leaves, a lot of leaves, and it's already almost done blooming. So it was blooming and putting leaves at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, she said mine hasn't, but the limbs are still green when I scraped it back.
Yeah, I was not sure with my pawpaw tree if it's gonna put leaves or not, because it was just doing nothing for the past month. All of my other trees had put out leaves and started blooming, and pawpaw tree was doing nothing. So I scraped the stem just to see if it's alive, and it was alive. It was green
Good.
inside, and now it's starting to put leaves. So yeah, that's what I recommend people doing. Just scrape the stem, and you will see if it's alive or not. Some trees just take longer than others, and it depends in which location it is. If it's a little bit in the shade, it will take longer for it to put the leaves on. Yeah, and usually I put the young trees, like if I grow them from really small, tiny seedlings, I do put them in the shade a bit, because I don't want them to die with all the strong sun in the first year.
Yeah.
They need protection.
Absolutely. Good night, Sheila B. Thanks for being here. And then last question is Brenda said, what's the best flowers to plant in your garden to bring in pollinators?
Well, it depends on your location. And also if you want annuals or perennial, I would suggest getting perennials, because you plant them once and you have them every year. And from perennial flowers, I would suggest echinacea, also known as coneflower. It's a great pollinator. Those flowers that have big flowers, like a large landing zone, I would call it, for pollinators. Those would be the best. So coneflower, bee balm is one of the best for pollinators. Pollinators love it. And those that bloom all summer. So like calendula would be one of them, marigolds, zinnias. Zinnias also, they're annuals, but pollinators love them, And dahlia also. Dahlia is kind of hard to grow, but it's a great pollinator plant too. Sunflowers. So depending on your zone and where you live, there is a lot of options. Basically, all flowers are for pollinators. It's just those that have really tiny flowers, the pollinators have a hard time with them.
Yeah.
But the bigger the flowers, the better they are for pollinators. And they can see them better, because they're tall. Usually those flowers that have large blooms, they are taller as well, and the pollinators have easier time finding them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for answering all the questions, you too, Rich, and thank you to all the moderators for working so hard with everything. Thanks for being here tonight. I always love sending out a link to everybody and seeing who shows up, because I think it's like a fun lotto.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting us. It's
always, you guys are always invited. Always, always. And we love you guys. Thanks so much for being here. And we hope you have a great weekend, everybody.
Happy birthday, Slava.
Happy birthday, Slava. Have a great time. And
yeah, have fun.
Happy planting, Rich.
Yes.
Yeah.
See you later, everybody. Thanks.
All right. Good night, everybody. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.